Mortal Kombat 1 killed Shao Kahn. No, not like that. I'm talking about character assassination. And also, they did kill Shao Kahn in this game. Wait, they killed him twice, didn't they? You guys, I'm starting to think that NetherRealm might hate Shao Kahn. Just kidding, I've known that for years. The man was bottom tier in Mortal Kombat 11 and lost every one of his fights. Compare that to MK9 when he only lost twice, and one time was to Elder God Raiden. Shao Kahn has fallen off hard in recent games, but Mortal Kombat 1 did him the dirtiest by far. And to better explain how, we have to start from the beginning. Shao Kahn isn't just the main villain of Mortal Kombat, he's arguably a top 10 villain in gaming history. And that's no exaggeration, especially when it comes to fighting games. This dude is at the top. If you ask any random person at the arcade who's the baddest villain in fighting games, they're gonna tell you Shao Kahn, because this man's reputation precedes himself. When you think of Mortal Kombat's main hero, it's Liu Kang, and when I ask you to picture its main villain, you think of Shao Kahn. So keep that in mind for the rest of the video. Shao Kahn isn't just important to the story of Mortal Kombat, he's also a fan-favorite character, and yet NetherRealm demoted him. Yep, he's no longer a Khan and ruler of his own realm. Instead, Shao is a general of Edenia and works under Sindel, because for some reason Edenia and Outworld are the same place now, which never gets explained by the way. Along with Chaos Realm missing, Kronika was able to control time, but apparently Liu Kang is able to delete entire realms, which makes zero sense because each realm is a piece of the one being, as in the creator of everything. So you can't just remove a realm from existence. That would be like deleting God's leg or something. NetherRealm either forgot about that or is hoping that we all did. But I'm friends with the fourth snake and history behind the warrior, so Mortal Kombat lore is branded into my brain. It feels like I got off track somewhere. Shao Kahn is supposed to rule over Outworld, and I understand that Liu Kang wanted to spare Edenia because he loves Kitana. In other words, he didn't want Shao Kahn to kill her father. But none of this explains why Shao suddenly lives in the same realm as Sindel. He should have to invade realms to do that, but instead he's just a mortal being now and lives in Edenia, which is also Outworld now. Did Sindel merge the realms instead? Because that would actually be a neat twist for the new timeline, but also goes against everything Liu Kang stands for, since merging realms makes the one being stronger. Man, this new timeline doesn't make any sense. Shao Kahn is not a regular being, in the same way that Raiden was not a regular being. Shao Kahn and Raiden are supposed to be the same type of being, but for different realms. Raiden was the god of Earthrealm, and Shao Kahn was the god of Outworld. They were both given the same roles by the Elder Gods, and I think it's loosely implied that the Elder Gods made them. However, Shao Kahn wanted to merge the realms, so he assassinated Onaga to take control of his throne and command Outworld. Shao Kahn is not some average dude with regular lineage like his MK1 bio wants you to pretend. This character on screen might as well be an entirely new dude, because nothing about him is Shao Kahn at all. But alright, the main reason I'm bringing any of this up is to show you how much NetherRealm nerfed Shao Kahn. Not Liu Kang, because he has no way of making any of this happen. This guy controls time, not reality itself. Kronika was never able to merge realms, or delete realms, or change biology, none of that stuff. And Liu Kang is supposed to have the same powers as her now, and yet somehow it looks like he can change biology, making Kitana and Melina sisters, making Raiden and Kung Lao brothers, and changing Scorpion completely for some reason. In fact, it's heavily implied that Liu Kang might have messed with Shao Kahn's genetics to make him physically weaker at birth. But he shouldn't be able to do any of that because Shao Kahn is literally not mortal. He's a god just like Raiden was in past timelines. Or if you want to get technical, he's the Outworld equivalent of a god. And last time I checked, Raiden doesn't have a dad or anything like that, no regular lineage. So why does Shao suddenly have one? Regardless, Shao is weak now and loses tons of fights. I think he loses 4 fights in story mode alone, and then you have his alternate timeline version, which also loses fights and then dies. Then I think another version of him dies in Chaos Reigns too. So if my math is right, that's 6 total losses at least, and possibly 2 deaths in the same game. Why does NetherRealm hate Shao Kahn so much? He's one of your biggest moneymakers. You know that because you made him the pre-order bonus for Mortal Kombat 11, which means you know how much fans love this character, so why are you treating him like this, NetherRealm? Then again, they treated Liu Kang like trash too, so it's kind of on brand. What's that? Fans love this character. They adore him, you say? Well, time to kill him over and over again, haha. Shao loses to so many different characters in this game, man. Back in the day, you had to actually be him to defeat Shao Kahn. You had to be the main character or a god, and sometimes even both. I'm talking about Taven, by the way. But now even Reptile can beat him. And listen, I love Reptile, but seeing him defeat Shao was wild. Isn't this guy supposed to be the strongest being in Outworld? That's why he's the final opponent in the tournament against Earthrealm, right? I imagine that Sindel wants to win this tournament against Earthrealm, right? And that's why Shao is the final boss? We even see the princesses fight in this tournament. So we know royalty isn't banned from competing. So this one tournament alone implies that Shao is stronger than everyone, including Sindel, which would be accurate to past games and consistent. I'm okay with Raiden defeating Shao Kahn because he's essentially the new Liu Kang and has crazy lightning powers. In fact, those lightning powers are technically godly energy, so yeah, they could probably beat most people in existence. But why is everybody else beating up my boy? How is this happening? And furthermore, why is NetherRealm letting it happen? Why are you guys pretending that Shao would lose any of these fights? You know what? It's time for a mini rant. Why don't we have Shao Kahn's hammer yet, NetherRealm? The game is basically over and we still can't use it, even though it appears in story mode. In fact, I think it appears twice. We fight against two different Shao Kahns that have the hammer. So why can't we use that gear piece too, along with a bunch of costumes that also appear in story mode? Man, not only did this game launch incomplete, but it's gonna end incomplete too, just like Mortal Kombat 11 did. NetherRealm, I speak for everyone when I say give us that hammer right now. Make it playable in the game. The fans of Mortal Kombat demand it, alright? All of us as a community agree that hammer should be usable. Alright, my mini rant is over. Not only does Shao lose a bunch during story mode, but he also loses during arcade endings too. And keep in mind that these arcade endings are canon now, at least according to NetherRealm's writer, which means these extra L's do count against Shao's resume, and they will be going on his permanent record. Oh yeah, and apparently Shao is an entire race of people now. He's no longer his own unique being like in past games, because we see a flashback to the Dragon King's era, and apparently his ancestor captured Onaga. Why wasn't Shao allowed to do this, NetherRealm? He's the one that killed Onaga in past timelines, so why did he suddenly get replaced by a girl boss? She does look cool though, I'm not gonna lie, I'd play as this character. And for a fun fact, many fans thought that Onaga would be Shao's father in this new timeline, because Shao has horns now, which honestly seemed like a pretty reasonable theory, but nope, turns out the horns are just a design choice, or possibly a result of him being Steppenwolf before. There is a popular theory online that Mortal Kombat 1 was originally gonna be Injustice 3, and that's why General Shao feels so much like Steppenwolf. But alright, to end this video on a positive note, Shao's gameplay is incredible. Mortal Kombat 1 really is his best version to play. Not only is he extremely fun with tons of moves to get creative with, but he's also top tier now too. So since Mortal Kombat 1 is almost done getting support, that means he might stay top tier forever in this game, which would honestly be really cool, NetherRealm. Even though you butchered my boy and everyone's favorite villain super hard in story mode, you made him extremely fun to play and also top tier. So thank you for that. Part of me wonders if Shao was supposed to get his glow up in story mode part 3, and that's why he starts off so weak in this game. But honestly, that's not a very good excuse to have him lose all the time. And I really do just think that NetherRealm hates our boy for some reason. Shao Kahn didn't choose to talk like the president, NetherRealm. You guys made him say those words, so please don't hold it against him. Alright everyone, that's the full story of how Mortal Kombat 1 killed Shao Kahn. The man doesn't even get to wield his own classic weapon anymore. But let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below, because I truly love reading each and every comment. Grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. And then while you're down there, leave a like if you enjoyed today's video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And then finally, finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs. Check out my new comic book. Follow the link below to learn all about it and order your copy today. It's only available for a limited time, so don't miss out on the exclusive covers and posters that won't be available anywhere else. That's right, these two covers and this poster will stop being available once the crowdfund is over, which is why you want to order as soon as possible. Ace of Spades was inspired by my favorite 90s comics growing up. It's basically Robin Hood in future Las Vegas. Street-level heroes working to overthrow the mafia and free their city. For me, Las Vegas always felt like the perfect setting for a comic book. Honestly, it's kind of shocking that more comics don't take place in Las Vegas. It's such a cool city. So I thought, let's make it even cooler by going to the future. Gigantic casinos the size of skyscrapers, flying cars, giant holograms, all that awesome stuff. Every character in Ace of Spades fits that Vegas theme, including their names. Both the heroes and villains have names that reflect Nueva Las Vegas. Ace, Spade, Full House, Roulette, and the list goes on. As you can see, Ace of Spades is a very cool comic with fun characters and an amazing amazing setting. Future Las Vegas, mafia-run casinos, street-level heroes, what's not to love? Click my link down below and order your copy today. Don't miss out on the exclusive covers and that awesome poster.